Why do you want that to be the first thing you say? We're live. It's time for the Power Hour.
Woo!
Welcome. The Power Hour's back. My apologies. It's not on the regularly scheduled day. It's on Wednesday this week. Maybe we'll do one tomorrow too. Who knows? It depends on how busy we get.
Really?
If you want, I'd like to do the Power Hour. I'd like to have you every day. All right, but Bruce, before he went live, he was filling me in all the news. He's like, "That's what you want to talk about?" I'm like, "Yeah." Holy shit!
Yeah, it's like the worst stuff ever.
It's what?
The worst stuff ever you wanted to talk about tonight. I'm just like,
I still want to talk about that stuff. But
all right, I'll fill you in on some stuff that's happened since you've been going.
Fill Max in.
All right,
new segment.
The Penguin director Craig Zobel has signed a multi-year first look deal with HBO.
That's great. That's my first reaction. Next,
Luca Guadagnino, director of Suspiria, Call Me by My Name, and the much loved Challengers, is up to direct Sergeant Rock film for DC, and Daniel Craig might star as Sergeant Rock.
I like the idea of the show. I don't know about Daniel Craig. Okay, next.
All right, the Skeleton Crew takes place at the same time as Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Book of Boba Fett, so we have a timeline now.
Good. Kathy did something right. Anything else?
James Gunn has confirmed there are no plans for Deathstroke to be in the DCU.
I thought he said there were. There was.
Nope. That was just a rumor.
He said yes. Oh, okay. What else did James Gunn do?
Well, since we're on the topic of James Gunn,
yeah,
he said it doesn't matter because these characters are not real.
Boo, James. What are you doing? Never argue with a fanatic, because what are fans? They're fanatics.
He's
to
right,
say their love
they're
of something
imaginary.
Is not real. I know, but you don't tell a fanatic that.
What?
You don't tell a fan is a fanatic. It's short for fanatic. Okay? You don't tell a fan that their thing isn't real. It's like telling children that love Santa Claus isn't real. You don't do that. What did he do next? Say something's not canon?
Well, he said
the other thing you do.
He said season 1 of Peacemaker is canon, except the Justice League at the end of the season.
Bullshit. So basically saying everything's canon except
Zack Snyder
Justice League.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, senior nerd.
That set the internet ablaze when that happened. When he said that, we're gonna do a reaction video to his interview he did with IGN later.
Oh, there's video footage. Ooh,
there's video footage.
Yeah.
And the last big thing, which I like for you to take the L for,
never.
Andy Muschietti is confirmed again to be directing Batman.
That's not by who? Himself?
By who? Collider.
Okay, I retweeted that too, but there's a reason he has to keep convincing people that he's going to do it. There's a reason, because the reception of The Flash wasn't great, and there hasn't been any movement on it yet. And then James Gunn did come out and say we have to get it right first. So there's a reason he has to keep saying, yeah.
But before I forget, so we have a special guest backstage. Let's bring him on. Chris.
Who's Andy Muschietti?
He's supposed to direct Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Guys, it's a joke. I know who he is.
But Chris, coming into the topic, isn't there a reason he has to keep convincing people? Oh, I'm still doing, because you don't hear a lot going on.
If you keep saying it, nobody else is talking about it but you, and that kind of makes people go, huh?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Oh, last thing. Gunn said, right now we're moving forward with Brave and the Bold. That's happening right now. And Matt Smith is writing the Batman 2, and that's happening right now. So we're getting 2 Batman movies being worked on at the same time.
He said it's going forward right now. I want to see the proof of this, the quote. Show me the receipts. He says it's going forward.
Everything I have.
I don't keep receipts.
I know.
But you're demanding other receipts from other people.
Yeah,
that's
no. Samir, excellent point here. When people are going to understand lack of announcement does not mean there is no movement. Yes, but people that follow Hollywood and things that fall through,
they need to go outside.
Do get a feeling. Yes, they do get a feeling. Just like Rian Johnson's trilogy, there's no official announcements there either. But do you think it's happening? Like all these other.
That shit was announced in 2018. It's 2025 almost.
Yeah. No, so that's more unlikely than Batman the Brave and the Bold, but there was also factors. Let's not be naive about the factors surrounding his last DC movie was The Flash. Was that all his fault? No, it wasn't, but it did underperform and it was very expensive. And they've kind of moved on from that vision. So why?
Well, it wasn't Muschietti's fault that it was expensive.
Ultimately he's the director, so he does have some.
No,
I would argue that it's not all his fault.
Or 5th director on that film, which was like 10 years late.
So,
we think that's his fault.
I didn't say all his. Did I say all his fault? Don't straw man me. I didn't say all his fault. I said he deserved. If you're ultimately the director, you deserve some of the blame, including Zack Snyder. For the Justice League. I didn't like it. I think he was under a lot more pressure than normal. But yes, ultimately the final outcome is there's some fault on the director. And at the end, it falls apart. No matter how many times they change the ending to me, it falls apart. And probably part of that was Warner Bros.' lack of vision of where they were going to go after the Flash. They made it so vague at the end, and they changed it so much that there's no real. Okay, what's going to happen next?
But you enjoyed the movie, didn't you?
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Okay, isn't that all that matters when we talk about movies and projects?
Listen, the thing that's going to get the grease on the wheels the fastest for Muschietti and Batman the Brave and the Bold is if Welcome to Derry series really hits the cultural lexicon and people's like, whoa, this is amazing, more so than the first It remake movie. Because the second one people will enjoy, but they were they weren't happy. They weren't not as ecstatic as the first part. So if that Welcome to Derry is an amazing series, you're going to get traction on him. WB's going to have to pay him the big bucks just to keep on hold of him because he's going to get other opportunities,
I thought it was great. What are you talking about? Zack Snyder's great. What are you talking about? I thought Zack Snyder's Justice League was great. It's one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen. I loved his vision. But at the same time, the same people that are, I don't know, that Zack Snyder shit is so over. Like, I don't know why people can't.
For a lot of people, unless you're a real hardcore fan, I love Zack Snyder too. I can't dare to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, it's fighting over it's so silly. I see so much crazy shit. Why are people still fighting over it?
It's to some people, it's like if they're if you got Empire Strikes Back and then someone took away from, that's a different scenario. It's not equal because George Lucas owned the property, Star Wars. But like, what if he made Empire Strikes Back and didn't get to make Return of the Jedi? It's like cutting off the story. So I understand why people do it, but I can't stomach it anymore.
Well, at this point, it just
we get mad at people, right? Don't we get angry at people for the whole misinformation, disinformation, lying to their audience? I mean, we would hold anybody else to task for that. So how come all these Snyder people that for years and years, it's happened. We talked to a guy who knew a guy who worked with a craft services dude who has a cousin that knows a guy at Warner Brothers who says it's totally happening. How come those guys aren't being held to task?
To be fair, Chris, up until James Gunn was named head of DC DC Studios, it was happening. Pam and
yeah,
Mike DeLuca were going
to make. Some people do not recognize that, but it was happening at the same time they were speaking with James Gunn. They were doing two different. They were actually like, may the best vision win, and they didn't tell. It seems like Zaslav, the cutthroat business executive he is, from an outsider's perspective, it looks like he was like, let's fight them out, see which vision wins, and then we'll give them the contract.
I mean,
he was coming
out saying things like everything's canon in Peacemaker, except for that last thing with the Justice League. There's a reason he has to do that. He's not doing it just to be an asshole to fuck with Snyder fans. There's obviously the studios probably told him, hey man, we got to distance ourselves from that now. We don't have a choice. This is business.
Well, I don't like that answer. Personally,
everybody was mad about it anyway. Oh, it's just
no, but to be fair, the way it was filmed was pretty effed up anyway. Superman's in the shadows, Batman wasn't there. It was just, I believe, on set was only.
It was just it was Ezra and it was
Jason.
Jason, that was it.
Was Gal there? Maybe Gal was there.
I don't think.
But I know Superman was like flying in the shadows, and Batman wasn't there. Yeah. So you're right, El Necron. It is kind of funny that the same people that didn't like the scene are now upset that it's not canon.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think the reason is it has bigger ramifications than it not being canon. Is like Zack Snyder's Justice League didn't happen. Right?
It happened. Everyone knows it happened. It happened. There's what? 2 versions of one movie, and then there's 3 movies from Zack Snyder out there that prove it happened. You got Man of Steel, which is an amazing, phenomenal movie. You got Batman v Superman, which I actually enjoyed. If you watch the ultimate cut, the final. I
like both versions, but the ultimate cut.
And then I really love Zack Snyder's Justice League. But when they say it's over, it's kind of over. And then
I think we're at the point where there's no choice, and then the point where you say like calling out Snyder fans still saying there's an opportunity to continue. I think it's like pointless at this point.
No, the people that are coming out and actually say not the people that have hope.
Yeah,
it's okay to have hope. I mean the people that come out flat out blatantly lying, the Mike Zero types, those types of people.
Yeah, the influencers.
They're just flat out lying, telling people that it's
anything is possible, but the path is there's so many blocks.
I will say this. I don't think it still as intense as it was, because right now, if you're a fan of Snyder, you have moved on to his other projects and supporting him in his other projects.
Exactly.
So that's what's going on. But a lot of the fans of Snyder on X fall for these people gaslighting them. Unfortunately, it's not everyone. And then they clip it out. Look, Snyder Bros. Look at what they said.
Well, we still don't know if James Gunn has an idea for when he gets further down that he brings back an old Henry Cavill, like an old super. We don't know what he told we don't know what his plans are, and he is still friends with Zach.
Isn't Snyder doing a series for Warner Brothers?
Yeah,
the 300 series, correct?
Mm-hmm. So it's not impossible. It's just getting a continuation of that story, I think, is harder. I actually think it's more likely that Zach does something for DC than continue the Snyderverse. Like, he could do, like he said in a recent interview, I would like to do Batman down the line. Then he didn't say Justice League. I don't want to continue. I'm sure he'd love to finish the story that he set out, but didn't he say that, Bruce? He said, oh, I would like to do a Batman.
I don't remember seeing or hearing that.
Now, Necron, maybe you know the quote there. Okay. So, okay. Should we get into the first topic? Because
let's get into the first topic.
Anthony Beltry has been a member for 30. I can't get rid of this guy. 33 months. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that.
You were right, Max. He wants to do a Dark Knight Frank Miller movie.
Yes. That's what he said. I think that honestly, anything's possible. I'm not wasting my time arguing with Snyder fans that wanted to continue, but I honestly think the likelihood is more so that after Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and then after Matt Reeves finishes his crime saga, which he's not going to do Batman Forever. You know, he's not going to. He's going to do his series, and I at least think that Matt Reeves has a conclusion in mind for all this. Then down the line, maybe Zack Snyder does like a Frank Miller style Batman.
And one more thing before we move on. If you don't like what people are saying about supporting Zack Snyder and wanting the Snyderverse to continue, don't watch their stuff. Don't engage with them. It's simple as that.
Well, honestly, the bubble's much smaller than it used to be. No offense to those channels. Like
sometimes you're scrolling and you on Twitter and you just see some stuff, or you have friends that are covering it. And I just remember thinking, this is such a non-issue right now.
Did you hear what you just said? You have friends that are covering it, like they're journalists. Covering what? Covering friends to getting together to celebrate Zack Snyder.
No, they're covering the arguments between the people that are going in on James Gunn and saying just really outlandish, horrible things to James Gunn just because they're mad Snyder's not doing it anymore. They cover things like that.
If James Gunn is not
look at this.
If James Gunn is not addressing it, does it really matter in the long run?
Samir is speaking truth. Some people just want to mess with Snyder fans. In my defense, they're so easy to mess with. See, it is like a non-issue, Chris. I agree with
damn you, Samir.
Well, it really is, and I don't think that just because you're mad that your little movie didn't get done, or somebody put out a few,
I'm still mad about
tweets. Yeah, but okay, so because you're mad about it, would you ever go so far as to be like, well, James Gunn did have some questionable tweets about 12 years ago. So
you're talking about fanatics.
So let's go tell everybody that he likes to, mess with kids, shit like that. Just crazy shit. That's so over the top.
Well, it's the same thing with like people saying Kathleen Kennedy is still head because she has.
That's what I mean. None of that stuff's cool.
Stuff on
she's got dirt on them, or she's doing sexual favors. None of that.
And Lucasfilms, it's just a money laundering for all the pedophiles in Hollywood.
Got us demonetized. There you go. Saying that word. Okay.
Clip it out.
What did he say? Clip it out.
Done. So I agree that Kathy Kennedy deserved every chance to be the president of Lucasfilm based on her producing history. I actually do agree that she probably knows stuff about people, because I think most of Hollywood knows some stuff. I think it was wild back then, I think everyone knows about stuff, I'm not saying any, you know what I mean. But I don't think that's why I don't think that's why she still has her job, though. I think it's because her career as a producer.
It's ridiculous. And also these fights between Gunn fans and Snyder fans, it's like kids on a short bus fighting with each other at this point.
Yeah, it's at the and I've blocked so many people just even for having that discussion. I'm to the point now that I just literally want to protect my X posts, and then just block anybody. There's so much shit on there I don't want to see. I almost never go to the home.
Come over to Blue Sky. There's none of that over there.
I'm thinking about getting Blue Sky today too, because I heard it's doing. I think it's one of the competitors.
So much,
but I'm not leaving X though.
You can customize everything. It's insane. It's so good.
I'm gonna try out Blue Sky eventually, but
you don't have to delete X. Why you can't?
You can't stream on Blue Sky yet. That would be the next thing.
Yeah, I believe so.
And it's never going to be as relevant as X unless you have both. Otherwise, it's going to be its own bubble. It's going to be it's going to be a lefty. It's going to be a lefty bubble. Unless
I'm definitely not going over there. I'm not. I don't.
So I mean, is X?
Well, you don't have to see politics if you don't.
I don't want to.
No.
I don't want to be
true.
in bubbles, man. I want to.
You can take that off.
Now, some people think X is a right bubble, but it's not.
It is a right bubble.
It leans right.
The only people saying that X is a right bubble are the people that are butthurt at Elon for being a Trump guy. That's. I mean, prove it. Prove it. Because I see just as much crazy. No, it doesn't matter. I see
in the last 3 months.
That's such a
it was just ads.
I see so much hate from both sides, right and left. And it's all right there on Twitter. So if anybody's being suppressed, I really want to see receipts, man.
Who said repressed? I said it was nothing but a campaign tool.
I am the most nuanced person on the panel, Chris.
Last 3 months.
I would say it used to lean left. Now it leans right.
It used to lean left.
But everyone's still there, and advertisers are coming back to X. They're actually leaving Twitch and coming to X.
Because they're afraid.
Yeah. Let me see. My blue sky is lit.
Okay,
Senior nerd, you should have been removed from Twitter from what I've seen in the past. No offense. I think you're willfully ignorant, Samir, if you say it never leaned left.
It never leaned left. Jesus, are you serious? Man.
Back when Dorsey owned it?
Yeah. Are you serious? What?
There's actually listen, I don't think that the laptop stuff should have been a news story, but they did suppress it. Whether you like it or not, they did suppress it. Yeah. And now it leans right. And but I actually think YouTube is probably the fairest platform social media wise.
I don't understand how you're only getting right leaning stuff on Twitter though. Don't you gotta follow? I mean, you still have to follow people.
No, you don't. All the right stuff, all these extreme nut jobs pop up on my feed.
But you didn't see anything. So you didn't see any like Kamala Harris stuff on X while the election was going on. There was no left.
Yeah, I saw how bad Kamala Harris was,
and the way to stop that is
lied about her.
And the way to stop that, instead of being on For You, just click over to where it says following, and then you never got to see that stuff again.
Samir, I don't think being banned for that. I'm talking about suppressing stories during political campaigns.
Yeah, but
and even
laptop had nothing to do. He wasn't running for president.
I am pro.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I think I took the vaccine myself. I take it all the time because of my parents, and stuff about vaccines was also suppressed too, whether you like it or not. It was. But moving on, because that's a whole can of worms. But they were.
That may be the whole revamp on my channel. Like for real, that might be like I'm just gonna start gaming and just shit talking everybody.
Who wasn't that what it was before?
It was before.
Just politics, pure politics.
Oh God,
politics.
Oh jeez.
I don't really mess with
politics on here.
Just go on my channel and just anytime someone's like, well, what about? Yeah, but what about? Okay, for everything you throw up there, I can throw something up there too. And by the way, guys, I'm a centrist. I don't. A matter of fact, I voted blue this year. This is the first time I've ever voted blue. But I get sick of the echo chamber where everybody is so sure that they're right. You know what I mean? And they're all getting their news from the same place.
We should move on though. I respect everything you're telling us, but we have taught.
To be fair in real life, let me finish. To be fair in real life, you wouldn't associate with half these people on Twitter anyway. So your friends are an echo chamber of who you want to be around, right?
I probably wouldn't associate with any of them, to be honest.
Exactly.
Well, half the problem.
I wouldn't associate with half of Max's panels.
Thanks a lot. I would associate with you all, but half the problem
be friends
is
with everybody.
I say half the problem is not even where it leans; it's the user. Because I don't know how many times I've talked to my friends on social media. Can you see what this a-hole said? I'm like, well, you read the whole thing.
Yeah.
No. So I say to my friends, well, you read the whole thing, so the algorithm's going to feed you more of that stuff. Or you don't comment on positive vids, and then you complain about someone putting a post on social media you disagree with. So you know what? When the algorithms of all the social media platforms look about, oh, this is something that the user agrees with, but they didn't comment, they didn't thumbs up, or this is something that the user hates, but you know what? They read the whole thing. They responded to it. What do you think the systems are going to feed to the person? So,
well,
the more you dislike stuff and look at it, the more you're going to get fed.
I will say this: since November 5th, I have not received any ads whatsoever or any right-leaning stuff anymore.
I'm still getting Kamala begging for money in my email.
Wow.
What the hell?
That's yes. Screw you, Democrats. You overspent on you bragging about billions of dollars. You overspent, and now you're in debt.
Did it say official Kamala Harris campaign?
Yes.
No, it didn't, Max. Stop.
No, they changed it from campaign to something fun to promote other people still in the Democratic race. I'm like, yeah, right, you're in debt. Okay, so we broke our rule on the Power Hour, went deep in the not deep.
No, we're not really talking about politics. We're talking more about Twitter's use behind the politics. We're not really talking about politics.
But if you really enjoy the Power Hour and our special guest, please thumbs up the video on both channels.
Here goes Max begging for likes, man, begging for engagement.
That's why I have to. If I piss people off, I'd get engagement out the roof.
I always.
But if you give nuanced conversation and friendly conversation and good content, people sometimes.
I think we should all start a political channel where we just.
If you don't want to thumbs up the video and give engagement, super chats always help.
Yeah,
yes, and memberships.
Oh, and by the way, if you don't hit the like button, that just proves you're all Trump supporters.
Like and subs comments. Just move on. Mwamba 85. I love you, Mwamba.
Hey, Mwamba.
Mwamba goes hard on me sometimes in the comment section. Keep it up.
That's my boy.
Keep it up. That's engagement.
Yeah, that's Daryl.
I love it.
Trev, my boy Trev. What's going on?
Yeah.
Check out Trev's channel.
Oh, a little update though, fellas.
This is what I get, fence sitting.
A little update, fellas, before we get into the whole, why should anybody even care about Fantastic Four? But before I start talking shit about Fantastic Four, I want to say that I'm almost done with the new place. I'll be moved in. I'm gonna have a backdrop. My shit's gonna look just as nice as yours soon. I cannot wait to get moved in. The internet got turned on today. I got a bunch of stuff coming. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Awesome. I'm so happy to get into the new place, and my foot's healing pretty good. So
good.
I meant it when I said I'm gonna start streaming more. I'm gonna have a lot of downtime, and I honestly can't wait to be back in my nerd habitat.
That's great, man. I wish you the best.
And I cannot wait.
I have a show you can do on your channel.
Is it called? What's it called?
It's called Thruples. You and 2 other guests every week. Thruples.
Right. Okay.
He's gonna get the right idea with
threesomes, baby. No, I'm in. Fuck it. Threesomes.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I told.
Isn't that what we're doing here?
Matter of fact, I told Bruce I was gonna make an announcement. Here it is, guys. I'm coming out. I'm out of the closet.
Good for you, buddy. I'm glad you were able to do it.
Oh, great. What closet was it?
It was the. I'm addicted to porn. We're kidding, Max.
There's lots of closets. No, I know
I'm fucking with Bruce. Me and Bruce.
There's always some truth. There's always some truth in lies. Remember that, guys.
Yeah. Should we look at Pedro Pascal now that you're out of the closet?
Let's go. Let's move on.
Are we allowed to talk about Pedro though? I mean,
he is a beautiful man. I can admit that.
I love Pedro.
Oh, come on, Bruce. He doesn't do it for me.
I'm not gonna do the whole.
He does it for me.
He's hot.
Doesn't do it for me.
I think he does.
I know I do it for a lot of people, but that's just me.
Okay. Well, let's look at. They are filming Fantastic Four. Where are they filming it? I can't remember.
Paris.
Probably somewhere in Canada. Oh, Paris
really? Or Spain. Maybe Spain.
See, Samir knows. Yeah, Daddy Pedro.
Daddy Pedro.
Okay, so let's look at some clips.
Damn, Samir never calls me Daddy. Thanks.
To see the kids sign their autograph. That's awesome.
Oh my God, he's grooming kids in Spain now.
What's that?
Wow.
I didn't even hear you.
Holy shit.
Never mind.
Okay. It'll block me. Oh, there's Johnny Storm too. That was Johnny. That's the first look I saw of him, Johnny. I don't know. I like really the actor, but he's the one that I'm just most like.
Maybe this will be the one, guys. Maybe this will be the one to make me actually give a shit. Because as far as I can remember, growing up as a kid in the late 70s, early 80s,
cared about
I tried. I've tried to get into Fantastic Four. Maybe this will be the one that makes me love it. Because I've tried so hard. The comic books were never good. The cartoons weren't good. Those 2 movies. I'm not gonna lie, the Silver Surfer one was pretty rad. It had some cool parts in it, but I never. The villain's the only thing I ever liked, and I always considered Dr. Doom more of a Spider-Man villain because I grew up on Spider-Man and Friends. So
that's a good point, Degrassi. Shooting in Spain, Disney avoiding the new SAG-AFTRA rules again. I think this is part of the reason that you got a conclusion to the strike. Is people are like, or studios are like, well, we're gonna hire our main stars and shoot out of the country.
And that's okay to do that, even if you're under contract with that studio. Oh,
but that's what's gonna happen a lot of the times. Instead of signing every single person under your production under the new rules.
Well, you
get your main stars.
Samir might be right, because the Jonathan Hickman run of Secret Wars, pretty rad. Yeah. Shit. So yeah,
the thing about Hickman, he doesn't know how to finish a story.
Yeah, but you're a comic snob. You're an elitist. So
I am not a comic snob. I'm a comic villain.
Yeah.
As I fix my glasses.
That's weird, though. I didn't think you could do that.
Even James Gunn is behind this. DC Studios is moving to the UK.
Yep.
So this is what's happened as a result of the strikes and the conclusion of the strikes. You hire the main people, and then all the extras are going to be. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people out of work. I feel. I mean, I don't have the proof for that, but just the trends.
It won't matter anyway. AI is going to take over the world.
IP and AI are the most important things for companies now, not even people. Definitely. Unfortunately. And we're going to talk about Sony next or later.
Oh, Craven, I'm hyped. I don't give a shit. I'm hyped.
Are we going to talk about the Trinity of Sony?
What's
sure. Well, let's look at some more clips from the set of Fantastic. I'm very excited about this.
Right, this is when we're watching him signing stuff. This is what you're excited for?
Yeah. Yes, Pedro's. This is great.
I there was like some big Fantastic Four news.
That's a beautiful moment right there. Because you know why? It's actually a genuine one. It's not some.
Yeah, he's happy.
Can we just kick kids and run away?
It's not someone doing a photo just for the photo op. He's actually there to chill with the kids and make them happy, man. I like shit like that.
Yeah, I know it's done for promotion, but it's great. Can you imagine if you were a kid that would change your?
Wow, Bruce, when did you become so heartless, bro? You're so jaded.
Oh, please, me being heartless and a asshole, it turns you on. Stop.
So there you go, talking dirty again. See, always talking dirty, always flirting.
All right, here's some more.
You didn't deny it.
There you go.
Deny it. I walked right into that shit.
Fake actor kids.
Here's the only thing I don't like about Pedro, and I'm gonna keep it real, but I don't like it about any men or women for that matter. I don't like mustaches. Burt Reynolds is the only man. Burt Reynolds and Magnum P.I. are the only two men that should have ever been allowed.
That is a mustache. What are you talking about, bro? Look at this right here. That's an amazing stash.
Yeah, but I don't like mustaches. I think it's very 70s porn.
Corn. I am going to shave off my goatee and only have a mustache for you, Chris.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Do handlebars, though. And Venom 3, I'm not going to lie. Degrassi, now you brought it up. I wasn't going to agree with Crazy Joe. He was right. Venom 3 is the best of the trilogy. It's a ton of fun. The first one
This is BS. You're saying Venom 3 is better than...
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if it's better than Deadpool. I don't know, man.
Yes, it was. A better story. I cared about the characters. I did not care about anybody in Deadpool and Wolverine.
But I had a lot of fun.
And it was better writing.
Remember we watched that trailer and we were all like so underwhelmed. We were like, what is this shit? And then you watch the movie and it's like bad marketing. Once again, this is a great movie. What are they doing? And Venom was funny as shit in this one. You're chocolate. Like he's so funny.
I mean, I do eventually want to see it, but I'm not. I would totally go see something else instead.
And it was moving at the end. It had heart.
I don't even think it's going anywhere.
The sacrifice that Venom did I don't want to drop spoilers. Never mind. I don't think maybe a lot of people haven't seen it yet, but it's that third act is very, very heartfelt, man. Even the song they played at the end, man, that Maroon 5 song, that's such a great song, man, to play for that moment. I really had a lot of fun with Venom 3. Better than that second one.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great to hear.
The second one was horrible.
Did you want to bring something up? Yeah, I didn't like the second one at all, and I saw that in theaters. Did you want to bring something up here, Bruce?
Sure. First we're gonna well, actually, let me find it. Where is it? Before.
Every time you look down at your phone and start smiling like that, Bruce, I get nervous. What's going on?
Why do you get?
You know why?
What? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. All right. First, we're gonna bring up the Trinity of Sony PlayStation.
Okay.
The Portal, the VR2, and the PlayStation 5 Pro.
That's so much money, Bruce, for such an early.
I know, not everyone.
My PS5.
It's a lot of money.
I just got this PS5, and it's the slim one. You know, you had the big giant monster, Then you got the one I got with the Spider-Man
but it's the same thing with PC.
And it doesn't do much more. It doesn't do much more.
It does.
Not enough like, to make me dump another $800, man.
No, I don't think it justifies the cost, except for people that have all the other expensive stuff to take advantage of it. Like if you have a really nice TV, maybe if you have like a TV that was made in the last couple years.
But it's the same thing when it comes. It's the same thing like PC enthusiasts. They go for the top end of graphics cards, which are 2,000 plus.
And then 6 months later, another one comes
out. This
isn't
made for everyone to have. It's just made for people that want to have the full experience. But they had the PlayStation, the nominations for Game of the Year and all that crap.
They were BS.
Did you recognize even half?
I don't like
games? I never heard of most of those games.
I don't like to go negative on the Game Awards because I think overall it's better than the Academy Awards for movies.
Let me see.
But I still have that. This year's nominees were complete BS.
Yeah,
putting DLC and
the DLC was
in as
the DLC shouldn't have been there.
I just really think that should be its own category. I think the DLC,
best DLC
should be its own category.
It should not, and that was totally
that deserved it.
That was totally, in my opinion, and according to the internet, a lot of people's opinion, because so Elden Ring, End of the Erd Tree from Software, and that's gonna be a great segue into the next part about
let's be
Sony.
Honest, that Wukong game is probably gonna be what wins everything. It's gonna sweep.
Maybe Astrobot. Maybe, but I think Wukong, from what I saw years ago when they first showed Wukong, that looks amazing. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, Wukong is amazing. Astrobot is amazing. But Final Fantasy Rebirth it has its moments, but the Pro cleaned it up. And Metamorpho, I haven't played yet, but it has really good reviews and players love it. Balatro, I think, is Solitaire. It's a RPG, a Japanese RPG. But the same people that did
Yakuza? Those games?
No, it's a turn-based RPG. It's about suicide.
Wow.
For those two there, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, and Final Fantasy Rebirth, that screams like corporate interference with the Game Awards, paying money to Jeff Keighley and the people that produce Game Awards to be in consideration.
Yeah.
Including now, I watched one of RGT85's videos, a video game YouTuber, which I may get an interview, hopefully. Nice. He said that in the past, they used to put out a list for the Game Awards of the people that are on the nominee committee, and now they do not, which is also raising a lot of red flags to people. And then all of a sudden it could also be potentially because social media has been so volatile lately, they don't want people targeted. But it could also be that they're not as transparent as they once were. And this to me screams big video game company pays lots of money to advertise on Game Awards. They're going to show their other games too. They probably put in. So I'm saying like From Software and Square Enix probably put a lot more money into this Game Awards to promote their other games.
There we go.
Let's give them a nomination.
Persona 5, Persona series.
Persona.
Yes, it's the same devs.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Last line.
Yeah.
But this goes to let's look at the past nominations for Game of the Year on each by console.
No, don't play that. You're gonna.
Oh no! Here he goes. To dunk on Microsoft.
I gotta be honest, though, I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I was shocked. I'm like, wow, really?
Well, those are the ones that won, though, not the nominees.
No, these are nominees, aren't they?
Xbox.
No, that's just the one that won.
No, because there's 3 games in some line. So
although that's it's still
nomination by platform, Max, not winners.
Wait, what? Nomination by platform.
Nomination by platform.
So Xbox has never once since 2013 been nominated for a Game of the Year.
This is obscene. This could be.
The other 2 systems have better games that year.
Okay, I agree with this. That there's probably some truth to this, but this also could have been created by someone with extreme bias. I have to fact check this.
Yeah, because
I think it could be possible.
Not win if there's a better game, you're
but
right.
No nominees.
If a better game came out that year, I understand. But no nominees. Come on, man. With things like Halo and Gears and Forza, like these are
You
all
gotta remember that
exclusives that are
Halo, Gears, and
phenomenal
Forza were
games.
popular, way popular before 2013.
If this is accurate, and Xbox hasn't even had a nominee for Game Awards since 2013, that is a massive L.
And that's the year the Xbox One dropped.
But I really, shut up,
all that
Beltry.
trouble.
Look at Beltry in there. Yes.
Man.
Look at this.
And Sony, and don't remember, this is the first generation that I believe second generation that Sony and PlayStation dropped.
Can you send me this, Bruce, in Twitter, because I got to research this image here.
It does.
It could be accurate, but
no nominees. I guess maybe no wins, but no nominees. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't know. Nothing for Game of the Year.
What Xbox games would you have nominated?
I have to go.
I would have to go back, but I'd
have to see what was released that year. I don't remember what was released in 2013. I know the last few years. I totally agree. The last few years have been stinkers for Microsoft. You know.
But you know, you got to remember, everything is an Xbox now. My phone is an Xbox.
Don't blow the lead here. Later on, I am going to do an Xbox fans tough love for Xbox, and I'm going to tell you everything that's wrong with Microsoft right now from a fan perspective, because I love one of my favorite systems is the 360. But since you mentioned Sony, Sony is taking some big swings, and right now in the age of AI and let me see, IP. I think companies, well, the proof is there. They're putting all their efforts in obtaining IP and not worrying about people and their careers, and leaning into AI solutions. So just like Degrassi was talking about, that SAG-AFTRA is only until 2026. They're going to have a lot more figured out with AI by then. And unfortunately, people are on the low end of priorities for these big companies. With that said, Sony's taken some big swings, and they are planning to buy media powerhouse behind Elden Ring. From Software is also, they made Armored Core, they made Elden Ring, they have a lot of other great IPs, but this company that owns Elden Ring also has manga and anime and all kinds of other things. So Sony acquiring this was a rumor, but the company that Sony is intending to purchase, Kadokawa, actually confirmed, yes, they are talking, but this decision hasn't been made yet. But this is as big. Maybe we don't recognize this level of this impact because we're in America, but this is huge for Japan, for Sony to do this.
I believe with this, they will complete like a four corner thing of anime, JRPGs and other things, because they own Crunchyroll, they own a couple of anime studios.
Yes. And the successes that Netflix has had recently with live action adaptations of anime. What is that? One Punch Man. There's been been a bunch of misses, but there has been some success, which some people said this is the next comic book movies is animated.
One Piece on live action.
One Piece. Yeah, One Piece live action. Sorry. So this is a big deal, bigger than people realize. And I am so much of not a fanboy that I want both companies to succeed that I say this is great. Microsoft bought up a bunch of IP. They are not done. They are not dead, but they have a lot of ground to cover to make up. See,
I think Xbox's biggest mistake is Game Pass.
Well, I'm looking right
now. No, Game Pass is an absolute win.
No, it's not, because if you think about it, if Game Pass, if they put these big games on Game Pass day one, what revenue are they getting? They're not getting the full $75, $80 for a game. They're just getting a monthly Game Pass subscription.
The only issue with Game Pass is that it's not big enough subscriber base because the console's not doing as well.
On Game Pass, except for the day-and-day release thing they did recently with a couple of the Forza games and things like that, for the most part, all the stuff that's on Game Pass, it's free anyway, is bargain bin stuff or really older.
It didn't used to be. It's only recently.
And I'm going through this Xbox list of, I'm going to have to say it, man. They're right. Xbox is almost entirely multi-plat. They don't have that many exclusives. I'm looking from 10 years. They've got 13 exclusive games in 10 years.
Out of the things that Microsoft has done the last few years, Game Pass is one of the bright spots for me.
And the only one I see that could maybe be a Game of the Year contender would have been Dead Rising. That's it. Everything else is Forza or Halo.
Dead Rising is multi-plat now.
Yeah, now, but at the time,
I think Dead Rising came out the same year as Uncharted.
The problem with Microsoft and Game Pass is that the install base for Game Pass isn't big enough to justify the cost in making money off of it. It should have a bigger install base, but the console isn't selling that.
I wonder if that's why they didn't kind of do that. Remember when Game Pass used to be $10 and it was just
and
then they went Game Pass Ultimate where it's $15 and you can share with PC because now Xbox games are available on PC as well.
Yeah.
So I think they were trying to make a little bit of money. I don't know. I got to be honest. This is the last year for the Xbox console. This might be the last year for all consoles.
No, I don't think so. No, they are actually developing. There's been now them buying that company Kodokawa has been confirmed by Kodokawa saying we are in talks. We just haven't decided. But there's also talk that from this leak that they're talking about PlayStation 6 and that they also, along with Microsoft, are planning to get in handhelds. I think my opinion is these high-end consoles, the cost of it, how much they lose per console, and the install base, even for PlayStation, isn't good enough to justify keep going higher end. I think we've got to the point in video game development where the consoles themselves are so capable of delivering high-end experiences, but a fraction of the developers are meeting even close to what the consoles can obtain. So I believe
what I mean by that is there'll be consoles, but they'll just be low-powered PCs. That's what these
I believe they should scale back a little bit, think smaller, think about a cooler design for the consoles themselves, potentially do something in the vein of Rogue Ally, Steam Deck,
how much farther
the
can
Switch.
They take it though, Max? How much?
Steam Deck is
farther can they push these consoles?
No. That's why I'm saying they don't need to. They need to step back because
the benefit of consoles over PC gaming is when they release a game.
Convenience.
No, it's not even that. The coding for a console is uniform. You release a game for PC. You got to worry about this, that, patches. How many patches?
Ported. Yeah, ported. Yeah,
you got to worry about
You might not get it for 2 years. I know people that are just
people hacking the games and cheating, and you can't even play competitive games on PC without hacks.
And I love consoles. I probably own every console.
Well, Max, you saw my PlayStation Plus.
Yeah,
PlayStation Plus has 2 to 3 times more games than Game Pass has on it.
Right now it does. Not didn't used to.
And it's
I was at Game Pass from the start. Game Pass was a better service than PlayStation Plus. Now PlayStation Plus has caught up with it and maybe surpassed.
I got PlayStation Plus Premium. I'm telling you, man, it dwarfs. It dwarfs.
Thank you, Samir. Once in a while, I make good points.
All right, so should we get to the? Oh, you went off camera. I was going to say my tough love for the Xbox. Hold on a second here.
And I own every. And when I say I own every console, I mean like if I have a ton of retro gaming. I got a TurboGrafx 16. I've got all the Segas. I've got all the Nintendo. But I also own when I go. I have like a Nintendo Switch. I have a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox. But I was always an Xbox guy until this year. This was the first year I leaned into Sony again, and it was just because they didn't have any Xboxes in stock. But once I got a hold of this PlayStation, I'm telling you, man, it's so good.
Now, here's my as Xbox fan, my tough love for the Xbox. and this is in response to their most recent ad campaign, where everything's an Xbox, which actually is a good idea, but horrible messaging. For one thing, my first issue with Microsoft as a whole, beyond lack of first-party games, is the name of the console itself is horrible since the 360. The titles of these consoles themselves are falling flat. The general consumer doesn't know which one's the newest console. And even this new ad campaign, everything's an Xbox. That's a great way to get your service on smart TVs, on phones, on all these devices. That is where you should be heading. But the way you say it, maybe potentially, is take your library with you instead of everything except your box. Talking about other things that are not your Xbox, you're already failing. The 360, why it was called 360, is because one of the main reasons for PlayStation's success, besides their games, it's so easy. It's so easy to know what the next PlayStation's going to be and to say which version you have and explain it to your friends. PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what are they working on next, Chris? They're going to be making PlayStation 6. It's such simple messaging. You can't get better than that.
Xbox One.
Can't get better
Xbox
than that.
One X, Xbox One Series X, Xbox.
So
like, what the fuck are you doing?
The reason they did the 360 is if they did Xbox 2 when the PlayStation 3 is making PlayStation 3, it's going to sound like it's a generation behind.
Well, I think
so that's why they did 360.
I think they actually called it the Xbox 360 because it had 360-bit graphics. I think that's why they called it the Xbox 360. But that was told me by somebody a long time ago. That may not be true.
The interesting idea, Chris, but based on what I've heard and the way I followed it, is if you're marketing and you're in the Microsoft department and you want to do your next console after the original Xbox, would you call it Xbox 2 when PlayStation is making PlayStation 3 if you want to compete and say you're better than?
No, I would just give them all names.
It would be dead on arrival if they did Xbox 2 versus PlayStation 3. It's just
I always thought they should have went the route that everyone thought they were going to go. Xbox 360, you're doubling up. Instead of calling it Xbox One, call it the Xbox 720. From the 720, go 1080. And from 1080, go 1260. That's what I think they should have done.
No, but they want Xbone.
Xbone. The Xbox Valkyrie.
I mean, besides that, now the strengths that Xbox had since the 360, they have made online gaming excel. I'm talking about, yes, they were and I couldn't stand them at the time because they were the first ones to charge for it, but they still did it best. They brought in achievements. They brought in Game Pass. Now, these are all great things that they've done for gaming. And you know what? Lots of people get by on Game Pass and don't buy $70 games, and it's good for.
Well, I don't do that anyway. I play their older stuff, or the only time it's got to be a good AAA title, and it's got to be something I'm really looking forward to, like the new Wolverine game or something like that.
Wolverine's exclusive to PS5.
I know, but it's still a AAA game, and day one I will drop the 70 bones for it. I don't care. Like if it's 80, I'm getting it.
So the branding sucks now. And then if you're going to say everything's an Xbox that's not on your box and you're not promoting your box, you're already failing.
And one more thing that killed Xbox is everything's proprietary. To upgrade your hard drive, it's proprietary. You can only buy Xbox SSDs to upgrade it. It has to be Microsoft.
Yeah, that's a factor.
Yes,
but I don't. It's not as bad as PlayStation during the Vita age.
Yeah, but we're not.
But Xbox, the 2013 though, Xbox stumbled out the gate, and they've been playing catch up ever since. When you come out and say things like, "Hey, you got to be online all the time. You've got to buy the what was that thing they made you say you had to buy with the console?" That camera thing, whatever the fuck it was, the Xbox.
Oh, that was what was that? Xbox 360 had that.
They had it, but they tried to make you have to buy it with the Xbox One, and they were going to make you stay online all the time. And then they asked them that
the online DRM. Now,
but what about people that don't have internet where they are? Well, then they can keep playing.
Yeah, that was a
bad move.
That was a failure, but I would argue the name of the console was a bigger failure than that.
Yeah, I thought
calling it Xbox One is just stupid.
I'm like, calling it Xbox One.
I love Nintendo, but
and it looks like a VCR.
But calling the Wii U, calling the successor to the Wii U was also stupid.
Yeah.
Maybe call it Super Wii because
like,
Nintendo
are we going to university
for
Nintendo?
No, but the name branding, yeah, Wii U, exactly. The Kinect was actually something they could have differentiated themselves if they didn't use the DRM stuff, because you had voice commands and stuff. That was actually ahead of its time when they did the version. The Kinect for the Xbox One was actually decent.
That's what it was.
I think their problem with the Xbox One, they forgot about Japan with the Xbox One. The 360 had so many Japanese RPGs that were exclusive to Xbox that still haven't come out for the PlayStation. I still want to play Blue Dragon, damn it.
Well, I won't lie though either. When that 360 came out and the PS4 came out, the PS4 was nice, but that 360, man, or no, the PS3, I mean, that 360 was ahead of its time. From the controller to that first ever Gears of War game, I mean, they hit the ground running with the Xbox 360. It was just the better console.
Yeah, and then if people don't know, people that own a PlayStation Portal,
oh my god, I can't even.
They are finally allowing cloud streaming gaming on it now. That's going to be huge. It's in beta right now, so you only have access to 150 games. You don't have access to the full Sony library, but that's huge. A huge selling point. It's going to be you don't need to be hooked up to Wi-Fi to your PlayStation 5 to play games, and it's so well already without having that feature.
The name is the main problem with me. Of course, there's lack of games. I'm not going to lie, competing with first party from what Microsoft is delivering from what Sony, it's not even a contest, but that's also because Sony's had years of success as well. And they've been obtaining IP. They're IP collecting right now. I do think Microsoft has a strong future. I think their messaging is still horrible, even with this recent, it's an Xbox. Stop. Actually talk about your actual box and how you could take your library with you instead of saying this is an Xbox. Say on Xbox you get the best experience and you get to take your library with you on these other devices.
Well, I think cloud gaming is the future. I think the 2 times they've tried so far though, like Google, and it's a very, very hard. They're going to have to perfect it because the lag was so horrible, the testing was horrible. But I think cloud gaming is the future of all gaming.
You got to realize there's a large part of the world that still doesn't have high speed internet.
Doesn't have internet at all.
Yeah, and Ghost Bumbles is right. When it was Blu-ray versus HD DVDs, Xbox chose HD DVDs and that killed them.
What are you talking about? Both of you, you and Ghost Bumble. 360 blew PS3 out the water when it first came out.
We're talking about what made it success because of the Blu-ray. And once
360 outsold PS3.
Porn picks a platform, that's it.
No, the 360
VHS over beta.
The 360 Blu-ray sold more than the PS3.
What?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
It did. Facts. Part of it was that it came out first.
Well,
part of it was because of the Red Ring of Death and people had to buy more.
Yes, but people had kept buying it because it was kept dying.
And because the install base developers worked on 360 games, even though the PS3 was more powerful because the install base was higher on 360. So a lot of multi-plat games perform better on the 360.
Oh, what are you talking about? PlayStation 3 outsold Xbox.
Maybe eventually, but not while it was out.
PS3 sold 77 million and 360 sold 76.
Okay, eventually caught up. Okay.
And the Xbox 360 came out first. A year.
Yeah.
They had a year.
So eventually it caught up along with the revisions to the Slim and removing features, the PS3, because the cost also was $599 US. That also was a factor that killed the PS3, the original one. But it did not. It eventually got there with revisions. Okay.
I hate that guy.
Yeah. PS3. No, the 360 red ring. I had one.
Yeah,
my brother sent back his Xbox like 3 or 4 times. It's like they kept sending him back the same Xbox.
360 is my favorite era of Xbox too, especially if you get a 360 now. There's Xbox One, original Xbox. See how hard it is to even talk about the legacy of Xbox. The original Xbox, not Xbox One games that work on the 360 that don't work on Xbox One.
Yeah, the backwards compatibility. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, dead guy. So there's a lot of games that work on the 3. I highly recommend getting a 360 now. Yeah. All right, so that the naming, the messaging. There has been Microsoft hasn't done everything wrong, like this Sony fanboy across from me likes to say. What? Achievements, online infrastructure, communicating with other gamers, and backwards compatibility was also really great because they were forced into it because of lack of success. And Game Pass, as much as you like to say PlayStation Plus Premium is great right now, Xbox did it first and better. And now Sony's caught up.
How is it better
at the beginning? At the beginning. Yes, Sony PlayStation Premium's only been over a year now, and they unfortunately they let Sony catch up to them on the services.
having Game Pass and not having good games to go on there. Two different things.
Yeah,
you were able to play Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes,
without any lag while you were streaming.
You're going to be playing all the Gears of War, all the Call of Duties on Xbox. All the Halos. There's a lot of great games there, but the lack of new, the lack of on the
PlayStation 5,
the lack of new exclusives and only multi-plats has hurt both Game Pass and the console. Yes, I don't think that's going to be like that forever. I think
they're going to you think they're going to stop with Game Pass? As many people that have invested in that, they're going to still drop these games. They're still going to drop these games day and date on Game Pass, and that's going to screw up their revenue.
They now if you want the huge IP, your day one, you're going to have to pay a higher amount. That's one thing as a result the PlayStation Plus Premium has caused us. They are responding, and now for the really high end stuff like the Halos, the Forzas, the next Call of Duty, you have to dish out more money to pay it day one. And so there's different tiers.
And I forgot what I was about to say. God damn it.
I'll tell you another thing I think that Microsoft and Xbox are responsible for. Remember when the days of PlayStation 2 or PlayStation, or go back as far as Atari. Remember when it was the family had to share that console. The whole family shared one console. Xbox brought in that online stuff and made it to where everybody got to have their own console. Xbox was they started that.
Online gaming was the beginning of incels. People stopped going outside.
Yeah, but think about
it's true.
Everybody
don't do the narrative. Don't do the access media narrative that all gamers are incels.
I didn't say all gamers. I said not all gamers are incels, but all incels are gamers. See what I did there?
I don't know if I've met a real one ever.
Okay. All right.
At one time, me and everybody in my family, both daughters, son, wife, myself. That's 5 Xboxes in one house because everybody wanted their own shit. And I can't remember a time that was ever being done until the Xbox 360 came out.
Mm-hmm.
And
they fumbled. They had the leading console. They fumbled it. And I think the very first, if you think of one thing that derailed it the most, I think even calling it Xbox One is just like, what? Xbox One? I remember at the time, everyone was like,
I can't see people going,
you're confusing your whole history calling it Xbox.
But Max, I can't see an entire foundation of consumers going, nope, the name, we don't like it. We're switching.
It's stupid to even it screws up your legacy to even talk about it. Like, I have to differentiate if I'm talking about original Xbox One game or Xbox One game.
But one thing also that killed Xbox, one more last thing, one more nail in the coffin of Xbox. They bought all these major gaming studios.
There's going to be results from that,
and other studios.
Oh,
what
Rare.
have they done with these studios? They have huge IPs that they had done nothing with.
Here, I used to
Where's
blame
my Killzone? I mean,
I used to blame Microsoft for Rare, and now after doing research, I've come to conclude that it's Rare's fault, because most of the founders of Rare, when they sold to Microsoft, they were leaving, doing other things, and I also believe Nintendo knew that they weren't delivering as well as they had in the past.
Yeah, but they still
that happens a lot in
IPs
video games
from Rare. They still have these IPs. They still own the IPs from Rare.
Yes,
that they could use. They haven't done anything with them. Isn't Conker's a Rare game?
Well, they made Banjo-Kazooie, but they made it nuts and bolts. That was the 360 game. Yes, there's a lot of IP there. They did Killer Instinct was just a success, but then the developer that did it wasn't an original Rare developer. They moved on. Yes, Microsoft ultimately owns it, so they deserve part of the blame, but Rare itself was not the Rare that was sold from Nintendo was not the Rare that everyone thinks of. It was a different company at that point.
And there's such double standards when it comes to PlayStation and Nintendo that I see mostly Xbox fans and PC fans. PlayStation's monopolizing all the exclusives. There shouldn't be exclusives. What about Nintendo? Oh, they own that stuff. Who cares?
What are you talking about?
The exclusives. People are complaining that Sony has too many first-party exclusives.
Who?
That aren't
Xbox fans? Nintendo fans?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Xbox fans, not Nintendo fans.
I heard crying when Microsoft bought Bethesda and Activision that they were going to, and then now they're putting it on multi-platforms, which they should.
I've always thought timed exclusives, console exclusive. I've always thought that shit was dumb.
I mean, but if you think about,
you get 100% of the profit. Why would you put it on multi-plat?
If you think about the nostalgia of classic game console releases, it's because of the exclusives that any of those consoles are worth a damn anymore. So
yeah, but you're forcing consumers and people that don't have that kind of money to make a choice.
Yes.
So they have to choose one console or another.
Yes. It's always been like that.
I know, but I've never liked it. Especially the timed exclusive stuff. You're going to get Tomb Raider and all the new maps for Call of Duty because we paid them this much money. That's some fucked up shit, dude.
All right. Well, I guess I'll end it because I try to get my points in for Tough Luck and everyone else takes over and bashes Xbox. Just saying the chat.
You knew this was going to happen.
No, it's hard to even talk about it. I still love the brand.
Pro PlayStation audience today.
There's way more PlayStation fans out there than Xbox.
No, I still love. I love this PlayStation 5, but I was an Xbox guy for. It went PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and then I didn't look back for over a decade.
I love interacting with friends on Xbox more than PlayStation's interface for some reason.
That's why I stayed with Xbox, even though I knew the PlayStation was probably a little bit stronger of a console. All my friends were on Xbox, and that's what mattered to me. Not graphics hounds bullshit because, oh my god, this is running at this many speeds and this is the frames per second. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Go to the master race with the PC guys. I went to Xbox because that's where my friends were.
Yeah, I gravitated to PlayStation. Because after Dreamcast was because of JRPGs. The place to play JRPGs.
Yeah, I don't care about JRPGs.
Has always been PlayStation.
That's true. That's PlayStation's owned that sphere. In 360 era, there was a lot of JRPGs on the 360.
Resonant, Blue Dragon, but not all on PC and multiplat now.
They were making during the 360 era. Microsoft was actually really working with Japan studios to get because, like you said, Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey. Those were previous Square really good game directors.
Those are two games they haven't made multiplat yet.
They are actually backwards compatible, both of them, and the prices are going up for them. But that's the other. If I was going to say one other thing is they completely, because they stopped trying to work with Japanese Japan.
Burn in the chat. Burn.
I've learned a lot of things, Samir. I would have pre-ordered what they were promising from any game company, but I will no longer pre-order unless they're a mainstream console anymore. I won't do it based off what happened there. But I mean, any other indie game console that was saying they were going to deliver like classic reimagined retro games, I would have probably been interested in. But I learned quite a many things from that experience.
Crowdfunding and Kickstarters is a very dangerous thing. Only, unless it's a notable artist, company, and don't do it. Don't waste your money because you never know when you're going to get it.
I'm very selective what I pre-order.
5 years for a comic book, like from some part of the comics community, still waiting 4 to 5 years for stuff they paid for. But that's just me.
Yes, Don Matrick was a disaster. Head of Xbox, he scoffed at shmups and visual novels. He basically shamed the Japan audience that was there, the consumers. That was also a disaster. Yep. Besides the name of the console itself, this guy was an absolute disaster that they're still trying to.
Japan.
I know you never kink shame nerds, not kink, but nerd shame nerds of what they like. You never do that. Oh, you like visual novels and shmups? He wanted to force Halo and COD on.
I love shmups. We'll play some shmups. Some of them were really hard.
Okay, so we have some controversial news here that I was going to show real quick.
Please don't show that. No, please don't. I'm actually in the group chat where they're actually arguing. RJ? Is it RJ shit?
No.
It's not RJ.
I'm not in any group chat you're in. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay,
what the hell are you talking about?
I saw Max highlight a comment earlier.
No.
And I thought that might be the controversy.
No, this
there's a
is
whole
about
argument over the.
No. Okay, this is about Moana. Is Rock wearing a muscle suit? Is Rock wearing a muscle suit to play? That is a mistake.
Why?
That is. I don't like that. I was all aboard for Moana live action. I like the live action remakes. I think the Moana is a franchise. It's not just the one movie. But all right,
Max, bro, I adore you, man. I love the fuck out of you. I do. I have for years, but sometimes you are so nitpicky.
What are you talking about? Why would you get The Rock and put him in a muscle suit?
Because the character is huge in the animated movie.
I don't like it.
Rock is not that big.
Stupid.
Yeah, you can't make anybody that big. I mean, and The Rock's probably the biggest motherfucker on the planet right now.
I know, but why?
Game of Thrones, the Mountain or whatever. The Rock's ripped, man. I've seen his diet and the shit he has to go through. Like when he was playing Hercules, this guy was like
I'm nitpicking on this.
Well, I think that it's not going to ruin the movie. It's all I'm saying. It's not.
Can we compare this to the Superman suit?
It's going to look silly.
I will help it when it's filmed.
I do know there is movie magic and post-production effects that can help the way it looks. I just don't like that they put him in a muscle suit when he has muscles.
Well, he has muscles
to make it look more. If they're going to go this route and make people look exactly like the animation, I think that's a mistake.
Or think about this, Mac. Maybe because of other roles, he's had to take some of that weight off because he's getting ready to do a big WrestleMania thing again this year. You know he's going to be in WrestleMania. They're going to finally have him, and so he's got to condition his body differently. He can't get all bulked out and have all that lactic acid in his body if he's going to try to go 45 minutes with a guy like Cody Rhodes.
You're stretching.
No, look, I'm not. I'm stretching. Well, that's reality, bro.
Cody Rhodes. What's his move called that I can't stand?
No, I'm saying I'm not saying that they're not even
Crossroads.
Look, I'm not. It's scripted fighting, but what I'm saying is The Rock is like twice Cody's age.
Okay,
he's got to keep up with this young guy, and your body has to be conditioned differently. You can't be all bulked out like her.
He would have had to gain another 100 pounds, man.
Yeah.
When is The Rock not built? This looks stupid.
They'll probably
You're
fix
looking
that
at a
in post,
blurry
though.
photo from like
They'll
100
probably
feet
fix it in
away.
post.
What's Moana's character called? What's he called in Moana? Maui? Putting the Rock in a muscle suit is a stupid and bad idea.
I don't think not if you can't tell it's a muscle suit.
The fake muscles have less definition than his real muscles.
And he's all tattooed up.
And his head is going to look like it's floating.
Do you remember the
character? I would bet money. This is because WrestleMania season's right around the corner.
I would bet WrestleMania.
You have to condition your body. You're not listening. You're not even trying to hear me.
Okay, I'm trying to.
You have to condition your body. Body conditioning is a thing. There are different ways to get body physiques. He has to condition his body a certain way because you have to start training months in advance before you main event WrestleMania. Now, he's probably going to main event WrestleMania in April. Wow. It's going to take him months to get his body and his stamina and his cardio where it needs to be. When you're bulked up that big in real life, you're filled with lactic acid and you get blown up after 10 minutes. You may look great and you may be bench press a bus, but you ain't going to do shit. So I'll bet you this has something to do with WrestleMania.
Chris's take is he's wearing body pillows because he's going to be in WrestleMania and he has to be cut.
He has to be
able to run around
a different kind of shape.
I mean, we're movie pundits here. We're supposed to react to first images here. If you're going to judge, now I haven't seen the context of post production and what they're going to do, but his head is floating on some pillows here, and there's a lack of definition just to make him look like the animation, which is I think a bad way to go. I think they could have made him Maui and just had The Rock in his natural physique.
Yeah, then you would have been better. Complaining that he's just being The Rock and doesn't want to be the character.
Look at The Rock. Go look at The Rock from say 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Compared to The Rock now, he's way smaller.
All right. Well,
he's way smaller. He's more slim now.
I think this was the wrong way to go.
He's not all bulked up. I mean, okay, here's the best way I can explain it that might make sense to you. Michael Jordan. Go look at Michael Jordan's baseball body compared to his basketball body. Yeah. Totally different conditioning.
This gets me bad vibes back to like when Eddie Murphy and the Nutty Professor or Mike Myers and Austin Powers were their different characters and they just look like they're in a suit. They look like they're in a suit. I'm not saying it's a fat suit, but they look like.
No, but I get what you're saying.
It looks cheesy. It's the bad parts of Back to the Future 2 where it was good at the time, but in retrospect in 4K Back to the Future 2, some of those effects look horrible where they're in suits. It doesn't look natural. His head is much smaller than his body, and it looks bad to me. But that's my opinion. I thought more people would agree with you.
All right, we spent way too much time criticizing this suit. Can we move on?
Right. What else? What are our other topics?
What?
You told me not to talk about the other one.
You're supposed to be prepared.
I am prepared.
Jeez.
Let me see what else I have. Oh, here's another controversial. I have this to talk about. This is a quick topic.
We could watch the James Gunn thing.
Oh, yeah. Definitely bring that up. But this is a quick topic, and it deserves discussion. This is the Marvel banner. Now, some people, some shills, no, I'm just kidding, are going to say this is a nothing burger.
I asked about this last night. I don't know if it is, but I remember
it's not a nothing burger. And I love She-Hulk, and I love Tatiana Maslany, but the character was not a great success for them.
Yeah, I don't think it's a nothing burger. I asked about this last night. I remember asking Matt and Perp and a few other people, and I was like, is it true that they literally took her out and replaced her with Deadpool? That's because I'm one of the few people that actually liked She-Hulk. Most people
hated I did too.
I thought it was fun.
It's not nothing. It's not as much as people see. Here's where you get the nuance on the Power Hour. It's not nothing, and it's not the end all. Like, does that mean she's never going to appear again? No, but you want to make your Marvel lineup look as good as possible. How does that help? By putting Deadpool in there, one of your most successful characters right there.
The money he's making, that's how it helps. The money he's making the studios, absolutely,
Yeah,
and if they're both posters, I would buy them both.
And it is something, and honestly, they're more likely to continue Deadpool than She-Hulk. Now, if they suddenly removed She-Hulk and Captain Marvel, I'd be like, oh my God, that is something major. So I hope they don't. I like Captain Marvel. I like Brie Larson. People said her character's stupid. All the critics of comics, I really like Captain Marvel. She said
one dumb thing drunk one night at a award show, and people jumped on top of it.
I don't care.
Here's why people don't like Brie Larson, because she don't take no shit.
It could be as simple as Degrassi saying Marvel is going to shoehorn Deadpool, Wolverine, and everything. Probably. Are they going to shoehorn She-Hulk and everything? No, probably not.
I'm okay with it as long as it gets to X-Men. Get to X-Men soon. Get there.
I would be on board if they bring She-Hulk back and Daredevil series, because they had a thing. Or if she appears in an Avengers project.
Yeah.
Is she going to get a season 2? Probably not. But I don't want to does this mean they're abandoning She-Hulk altogether forever? No.
I don't.
But it doesn't look good for her. And honestly, Tatiana, the other thing, as simple as it could be nothing to do with the character. She has signed on with Star Trek now and Paramount. So that is her active contract. In her other contract for She-Hulk is probably not renewed,
She's going to cook in that show.
Yeah. Wait, so that's a simple response is that she now has that Tatiana Maslany has other projects that garner her attention more so now, like Star Trek and Paramount, because she is going to be in one of the crew. And most likely they weren't beating down the door to extend her contract after She-Hulk underperformed. So does that mean does this banner change mean she'll never appear again? No. But I think besides Avengers or Secret Wars, it's probably unlikely.
I will say this, and as much as I hate to say it,
that's because of the phase, though, Samir. You just proved the phase didn't focus on white guys.
What are you talking about? He said white guys. He said white. There's 3 white, 4.
He said
3 white, 3 white. 3
but the last phase. But if you're thinking about, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Ryan Reynolds is straight in real life.
Oh, but he's got he's got Loki. Yeah. Loki and Deadpool are there, right?
There's more white people in that photo.
But this represents the last couple phases, though. There is another change that no one's talking about out of this image. Do you notice it? Can anyone in the chat notice it? Because I noticed one other thing. This is great. I'm glad I noticed it. Besides She-Hulk being replaced with Deadpool, there's one other change.
He's got like a planet behind him. The background's a little bit
different. They put the Marvel. No. They put the shield and they moved the Marvel symbol up.
So they could put in Captain's shield. Yes.
So that was already there.
It wasn't just completely just changed She-Hulk.
Hashtag not my captain. So
it's my captain. All right.
No, I'm not gonna lie. That new Captain America movie looks fucking good. I don't give a shit.
I gotta go to battle with Perp because I don't know what stream I was on. Maybe it was Crazy Joe's stream I was watching, and he said that it looks horrible.
No, I thought the second trailer was great. I think it looks really good. I think it looks great. It looks a lot of fun. When he's blocking the missiles with the shield while he's flying in the Falcon suit, that shit looks great, dude. I think it looks really fun. Yeah. I just think everybody getting all fucking booty tickled over Harrison Ford being a Red Hulk. It's the dumbest, minute shit. I'm going to go watch the movie, and if I like it, I'm going to say I like it. If I don't like it, I'm going to say I don't. But I'm never going to let anybody's opinion sway me over what I watch.
Well, Ghost Bubble says, and people are making mountain out of a molehill. I think you meant molehill. They tend to change their banners anytime a new movie there's a character that they're debuting, they'll add them to a banner. It's not nothing, though. There was other characters there from Phase 4 that were not included.
One in.
Yeah, that's something.
That's something.
It's not nothing, and it's not the end of the world either.
Yeah, but it's
do you have the last 5 banners before this one?
No, of course I don't.
Anyone noticed any changes before this?
Of course I don't.
If there's a pattern.
Yeah, it's partly promoting the upcoming phase, but it also has something to do with the past phase too. And maybe they're alluding to what's going to be in the Avengers. I don't know.
The next one might have Doom in the background. We don't know.
You said you have a video clip here of James Gunn.
We're gonna play about a minute and a half of this.
We can do the whole thing. I didn't see it at all.
Oh, you want to do the whole thing? I'll
Might as
start
well.
where the controversy starts. Make sure it's unmuted. All right, there we go.
Oh, it's 18 minutes. Never mind. I won't want to.
Yeah, that's what I said. Let's start here.
It's great.
You hear it?
Love it. So
turn up more.
And what's not these days in the DCU? Because obviously, like we have Weasel, we have
What's
aspects of
canon, what's not. He asked him the question that he's like, damn you nerd.
Like, what is your thinking in terms of how that works?
Real simply, nothing for sure is canon unless you see it in Creature Commandos forward for the DCU.
Okay.
Now, in Creature Commandos, you'll hear them talk about things that happened in Suicide Squad or Peacemaker. Well, then those things automatically become canon. The truth is, almost all of Peacemaker is canon, with the exception of Justice League.
Oh, go back. Let's do that again.
Peacemaker, well, then those things automatically become canon. The truth is, almost all of Peacemaker is canon, with the exception of
his personality. Oh, pause it. No. You're going to get claimed there if you show that. So go back. So listen.
In Creature Commandos, you'll hear them talk about things that happened in Suicide Squad or Peacemaker. Well, then those things automatically become canon. The truth is, almost all of Peacemaker is canon, with the exception of Justice League.
He wanted to add that there. He did not have to include that. That is his personality coming out. And some gun nuts, I used to call them gun heads, but Joe said no, call them gun nuts because I didn't know anything seem violent.
Well, people shouldn't throw stones.
Yeah. But I said his social media, sometimes he puts his foot in his mouth, he talks too much. Some people might say, just like certain, and not getting the political figures, and anytime people talking about you, it's a win. So even though I don't like his answer, and my immediate response would be he shouldn't have said that, it's going to get people talking. And honestly, if he said it or not, most of those same people are going to be unhappy regardless, right? So he might as well get some promotion off the tears of people that aren't going to be happy. So that's my expert reaction to this. I don't like it because he is pretty much wiping out a whole part of the DC that I love immediately.
We knew this.
And when he didn't have to add that,
he took on we knew as soon as he took the job that it was not canon. We knew.
Yeah, but confirmation of what's going on, everything could be canon.
I'll tell you why I think he's saying it.
What people want, the Justice League.
I'll tell you why I think he did it that way. Coughed it and looked over at his man and they all laughed. You know what? I think he's clapping back because he's sick of these fucking lunatics constantly coming at him on Twitter.
Honestly,
he's probably sick of it. He's probably sick of it. And he knows this will piss them off.
The way he coughed there.
He's not playing four-dimensional chess, man. He's not.
No, he is. He knew exactly what he was doing there.
He's not.
Yes, he is.
He's doing that on purpose to piss off these idiots online that constantly
to get free.
Trolling.
He's not doing this to somehow make sure Zach gets his vision fulfilled someday.
No. No, he might as well capitalize on the tears of us Snyder fans that want it to continue, and he's not going to continue it anyway. You're not, honestly, even if he didn't say this, people aren't going to be happy. Honestly, the smart move for marketing would be to capitalize on the situation and make it more exciting and hyperbolic and
looking past the troll that he just did.
He trolled.
This is basically saying that everyone from the Justice League is not coming back.
Yes. Is this confirmation that Gal's not coming back finally for Joe from the man himself? Oh, yeah, that is why. Oh, God, Joe, the craziest of Joes. One of the things he held on to was that they appeared at the end of Peacemaker, I think. The Gal was there. So I'll have to.
All right, let's play some more.
Okay.
Just get past that.
Yes, we all know that RJ is on
in the next season of Peacemaker. Oh, okay. But really, to be totally sure, everything that's purely canon is Creature Commandos through Superman, through Lanterns, Supergirl, Peacemaker season 2.
I mean, does canon matter anymore anyway?
Well, one of the weird things to me is
here we go.
Is it
He's doing it again. He's completely trolling here.
It may be alarming to people,
but missed it. Shut up, please.
Listen what he just said. Listen what he just said.
I mean, does canon matter anymore anyway? Well, you know, one of the weird things to me is it, and none of this is real.
That's a great answer.
Alarming
Horrible answer.
But none of it is real.
That's
it's
all
great
just
stories that we're telling about characters.
You
and hopefully
know,
there's
great
authenticity and truth.
You don't reply to if something's in canon. It's
That's
like saying,
exactly what you say.
No.
You say it's all
like
canon. Build your own canon. Who the fuck
like
are they to tell us what's real and what ain't?
It's
when there's
like
so many different types
like,
of things out there. Okay, so what's canon? Okay, what's canon in DC right now, then? Is it
no? But answering like that,
it's
answering like that's a cop out. It's just like people were debating Star Wars.
So it's someone
tries to end the conversation.
No, you just don't like his answer. You just
we're
don't like his
talking
answer.
about space wizards here. That's a cop out answer.
No, that's not a cop out. They're saying he's literally saying that people going to war with each other over this kind of fucking fictional, asinine, trivial shit
on both sides.
Sides is so silly.
It is
when
silly,
there are real world problems out there.
These are. I'm not triggered.
Who said you were triggered?
I say it's a cop out argument
when his voice goes up.
When you're debating on whether something is in canon or not, respect the argument, respect the rules of debate, and don't just like, well, you're talking about space wizards or it's not real.
Why? Yeah, but if I'm being interviewed, why would I let somebody?
That's an asshole.
No, it's not. Why would you let anybody
respond?
No, it's not. Why would you let anybody paint you into a corner like that?
Yeah.
All right.
Why would you let anybody paint you into a corner?
Let me speak. I'm sorry.
I think he made this comment because posts like this. Let me find it.
No, that's a bullshit response.
No, you just don't like it. It's a great response.
In response to that, somebody named Jamie said, "I can't actually believe he views superheroes this way. They are three-dimensional humans with feelings. What an absolute disgrace. Disgrace is an understatement, bro."
Yeah, that's not. They're not real. Bradley Cooper is not a fucking raccoon.
I know that, but that's not being cool with the debate.
This is the same thing with the Star Wars franchise, with the Marvel franchise.
All of them.
People that think this shit is real.
They take it too far, man. Life. They just take it too far to where they actually let it affect their personal emotions.
That's a different argument.
Their lives.
That's a different argument, Chris. But if we're having a friendly debate on what happened in the Penguin, and then I say I kind of have a problem with this storyline, and then you're like, "Well, it's not real, is it?" That's a bullshit response.
No, but
that's
just like when we're talking about Star Wars.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying that, okay, for example, if you want to know if something's canon in this, but then you've always got somebody that'll jump out of nowhere. Like that's not how it happened in the comic books. Okay, it happened one way in the comic books. It happened another way in the movie, another way in the cartoon.
Right?
Yeah, it doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to become. That's a discussion. That's different. That's a discussion. But who gets to say what is and isn't canon? There's so much shit out there now. It's not possible to say, well, this is canon and this ain't. Okay, so Christopher Reeves is canon, but Henry Cavill's not? Or is Henry Cavill canon, but Christopher Reeve isn't?
Yeah.
That's
saying
none of it's real.
Not real is bullshit answer. His answer about what's canon in Peacemaker was better than that.
All right, another parallel I could draw is there is a large percentage of people that still believe that wrestling is real, that the stories are real, that everything that happens is real. Not saying that the wrestling is fake.
The athleticism is real, but everything else.
The storylines.
Yeah, the storylines
aren't real. Yes, but if you say that to a WWE fan, they'll have a heart attack. You say that to a Star Wars fan, heart attack.
Yeah, look at this gun show here on the payroll. I'm just kidding, RJ. Look at this Access man.
Where did he come from? So we all talking about gun.
Let me tell you something, RJ. You didn't have to let a cat out of any bag, and don't put cats in bags to begin with.
Yeah, that's
we all knew that you were the one that saw Creature Commandos. We all knew ahead of time before you made that post. Anyways, He is framing it in setting this up in a nice way. That is not what the man said. You're alluding to, you're spinning it positive for a gun. And I like
no. We're not allowed. Listen, that's another thing.
You can make whatever you want it to be. That's
We
not
are
what he
not
said. He
allowed-
didn't say.
We are not allowed to draw conclusions on what that man meant. We don't know what he meant. We're not allowed to judge him and say what he meant.
If he said you can have canon whatever you want it to be, that would be a better response than it's isn't real, you know. This is like arguing comic books with my mother. She'd be like, "Is this real?"
No, I think what he meant was it's not so real that these kind of discussions have to turn into arguments and get heated. He's like, none of this is real. I think he's saying whatever you want the canon to be is your canon. Pick and choose your canon, your head canon. Go ahead and do that.
You didn't say that.
You think any of the people when Lucasfilm got bought out by Disney? Do you think any of the people that love those old books? Yeah, they were mad, but do you think they're going to go? Oh, I don't love those stories anymore. They're not canon.
And how Kathy
Legends is still Legends.
How Kathy responded to it was horrible.
We don't have enough source material.
Yes, we don't have enough source material.
I remember that. That was,
and then they pulled from it.
George Lucas says Legends isn't canon.
Okay, that's fine. Her response to it was stupid and pathetic. We don't have enough source material, and then they constantly pulled from there. She didn't know it existed.
Basically, pull from Legends. What are you talking about? You don't know anything about Legends.
Who do you think Thrawn is?
What?
Thrawn is from Legends.
Yeah, but it wasn't always Legends. It used to be considered canon. Those books were considered canon at one time.
Yeah, they pull characters and events.
And now they're cherry picking. And now they're cherry picking.
Yes.
They're like, hey, cool.
There was a
from that source material that didn't exist.
So
Rebels made Thrawn canon.
Yes. So they still pulled from Legends though, and made it canon. Yes. They pull things, they cherry pick from it. Not all of it is canon, right?
But if you want it to be, but if you want it to be canon, it can be. Because the stories are out there. You can pick and choose if you want.
Yes.
In one universe, Mara Jade doesn't exist. But in your head, you can say, no, that's Luke's wife. And you can build
Lucas hated that character.
Yeah, and there's no one can take that from you. I think that's what James Gunn means by that. No one can take that from you because none of this is actual real.
And RJ, we don't need this Access Media show. No, I'm just kidding. Do we want to let him on for a minute to see what he has to say?
I don't know, man. I'm afraid of what he's going to say because he's going to do that whole.
You better make it quick. Are you ready to go? This better be fast because I got stuff to do. I got cousins coming over.
You might. I'm going to yell at him.
What? No, don't.
Blue Jay.
If he brings up what I think he's going to bring up, I'm going to yell
at
him.
What the hell?
What's that?
Did I DM? No, I DM'd you. Actually, let me talk about this.
What the
Today,
fuck?
I got a JPEG of a comic book, and I sent it out to people that I thought would appreciate the comic book.
Well, I didn't get shit.
Wow. It was a Kickstarter by Mark Spears, great artist, great writer, and his Kickstarter is very successful, so much that KeenSpot picked it up and released it. And I sent this out to people. Here we go. It's called Monsters.
I didn't get this.
Oh yeah, he sent it to me earlier this afternoon.
How come I didn't get it? I'm on the list.
Hold on, let me. So the covers are amazing. He does painted digital art.
Ooh. That's awesome. I feel left out.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Hey, show. No, I'm just kidding.
Drive to work. Not to work.
Congratulations, RJ, on seeing Creature Commandos. We all knew ahead of time.
Congratulating me.
Stop putting cats in bags, though, please.
And the interior artwork is just as good as the covers. So if your
drawing is making a claim here, I don't know.
Really worth congratulating. I mean,
so go to your local LCS and pick this up. Support Mark Spears. I will be doing an interview along with Vinavision next week with him.
Nice.
What the heck are you talking about, you Canadian hipster? What Fallout? We're talking about nerd stuff here.
Well, maybe he's talking about Fallout 2.
Wait, well, I'm not
sure. Are you talking about the Fallout TV series or the video game? Then we could talk.
What comment? I didn't see it. What I missed?
What are you eating? RJ, what do you wait, come on, what's the topic for the power hour that you wanted to cover?
I guess why you're complaining and bitching so much. I mean, I don't know.
That's not very nice.
Because that's what I do.
I know.
I still love James Gunn. He was completely trolling here.
And by the way, it's Max's God-given right to listen.
And I finally admit that where I was potentially more critical of James Gunn in the where I was more critical of James Gunn for his social activity media in the past, it's gotten to the point where people that dislike him and his vision, they're going to complain no matter what. So you might as well capitalize on the situation and make a joke of it.
Let me address the first thing. Okay.
Yes.
When he's coughing and saying Justice League, it's a joke because it's obviously the elephant in the room. Everyone's been asking him about that scene. It's a joke.
He didn't have to say that.
Like a diss against the Justice League or him trying to throw shade.
Or Zach. It's not a diss at all.
The way it was delivered was intentional.
He wanted to do that scene. He's the one who pushed for it.
Okay, that's fine. That's extra context. That's great. The way he delivered that was very comical, very trollish. Everyone knew what he was doing.
Yeah, it's meant to be humorous. Like, like you're messing around, be like, the Justice League, the scene.
But he did say it with a smile, and that some people were going to be response to that. I think he's going to get more like for that than dislike. Like, I think he's going to get more love for the way he'd answer that question than people upset. There's going to be people butthurt, but
he's transparent. He's like, "Yep, Peacemaker is canon except for that one scene," which is
so ultimately, all press is good press. When you're talking about you, this is probably a moment that's going to get clipped.
Before, I will say on social media, he was very wishy-washy.
Yes.
What to say. Now he's like, yeah, okay. Now we can just admit it. Peacemaker is canon except for this one thing. And that's fine. The suicide.
So he's being very direct instead of being very evasive like he is.
Well, the way he delivered it with snark and a smile is going to go well for him. So I ultimately concede that his social media activity, the way he responds to things, this is a good moment for him, even though I'm not happy with that. But it's inevitable now because look where Ben Affleck is. Even if Ben Affleck wanted to come back, his personal life is not great right now either. Again, he signed a contract with Matt Damon. It's just like this stuff isn't going to work anymore.
Ooh.
You know, it's not going to work. So might as well make a joke of it. So ultimately that's fine. But then the cop out, the other part I had an issue with, I generally do have an issue when you're doing a nerd debate and you get into the nitty gritty of debating plot detail from Star Wars or superhero stuff. And someone just says, well, you're talking about space wizards or these characters aren't real.
Works of fiction. That's all he's saying.
Yeah, that's a
I'm as passionate about this stuff as you are, Max, but I'm not going to let it affect me.
I'm not. Do you see it affecting me? I was just saying.
Upset about it. You don't like it.
I'm not upset. I'm being.
All right, we have breaking news.
And we got to move on. I just want to say really quickly.
We have a better picture of.
Okay, go ahead.
The Rock.
Looks better, but I still don't like it. Looks plastic. Doesn't look real.
Why
is he wearing Elvis Presley?
Why does he have sunglasses in Moana too? I have a problem with the sunglasses. No, it looks better, but I still don't like it. I don't think they need to do the. I mean, the other potential benefit of wearing the rubber suit is that he doesn't have to cover his natural tattoos. So that is a plus, but I think his head still looks like it's floating on a pillowy body.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know why they're making this besides money, but
no, I think there's a lot of it's giving another actress an opportunity to be Moana, and I like that. For instance, fairy tales, but Disney has consistently.
Okay, if that's the logic we're going with, why not cast another Polynesian?
Yeah.
Because shows like One Punch made into live action, right?
Well, sure. They could have given someone else the opportunity, but I'm
just saying, why are people okay with shows like One Punch or something like that getting turned into live action, but they get mad with something like, it's a money grab? That's not fair.
He's calling you out, RJ.
Some of the anime remakes I don't think are necessary either, to be honest. It just depends. Like,
why not? It gives more people,
but they
more
don't get the
entertainers.
hate that Disney does for their remakes.
Well, so, for instance, for one of the IPs of fairy tales and Broadway shows, they are ripe for different and different.
I think my issue with this is
performers
that
being
Moana is
carried down.
so new. It's
Yeah.
not even. It's not even.
Okay, that I'll agree with. That makes
like
sense.
it's a brand new property that's still getting a sequel this year. If it's something from like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, that's one thing. But this is a brand new IP that you could still make sequels for, like Frozen.
They are making.
You could do a Moana 3. You could do a Moana 4.
Yeah, they're still going to do it.
I don't really think you need to do a live action version, not yet, at least.
We don't know why yet. We
well,
don't.
If you think about it, Disney really hasn't had a live action movie flop, have they?
No. You can argue more towards live action remakes than Disney Star Wars movies in theaters.
Well, Maleficent 2 did not do very well, and Alice in Wonderland 2 flopped.
But was that? But those are sequels.
They're sequels, yeah.
The Tim Burton movie was more like something different than just a live action.
I'm telling
remake.
you, if they ever make a live action of Cars, take all my money. Take
for
all
example,
my money.
The Angelina Jolie, Maleficent, and what Tim Burton was doing were not exact like remakes of the musicals. They were different, like they were like different takes. So the actual live action remakes, they're pretty consistently making money.
See,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was his.
I would actually love that. I would love to see them do animated remakes of live action films. That would be cool. I want to see that.
Yeah, that'd be
like,
cool.
what would an animated version of like? I don't know.
Little Mermaid was on the best-selling soundtracks of the year too. It made a lot of money other ways as well. Yeah, it made a lot of money. It introduced some new songs.
I can remember any time Disney put something animated out, it was a license.
I have to deliver this line because this is one of Craziest Joe's best comments. The hierarchy of power in the Disney live-action universe is about to change.
We can also argue that a lot of the live-action remakes did better than their animated versions.
Oh, definitely.
In the box office.
Yes, definitely. As much as nostalgia we like to, because Disney in the 90s, it was actually really more profitable as home video.
You know what I'm still waiting on? I'm waiting on my live action remake of Treasure Planet.
Yeah, that would be a great one.
And Atlantis.
Yeah, that would be a great one.
How many times in the 80s did they re-release Disney sing-along tapes?
Yeah,
every few months it seemed like they was re-releasing those sing-along tapes.
Well, in the 90s,
you guys grew up in the Kids Bop era.
In the 90s too, some of the most premium VHS tapes you could get were the Disney clamshells. Those were $30 a pop in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
They were premium. That was a big source of revenue for those. But yes, the live action remakes probably are more profitable than the 2D animated in the 90s.
Before we end it or move on, you want to cover one more thing?
It's up to you. I'm fine.
All right.
We're going daily. Power Hour going daily.
We have the cast for Christopher Nolan's next film. Tom Holland, Matt Damon, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o, and Robert Pattinson.
That's a great cast
right here. All-star
That's
cast.
a great.
What the fuck's the movie about?
We don't know
yet.
Don't
say that.
Nobody knows. Yeah, he won't tell you
about
until probably.
Who cares? I don't want to fall into another Tenet trap. That's why I care.
Are you
Tenet
didn't happen.
Tenet was
awesome. Tenet was great.
Oh, I apologize. Let me get the super chat. I apologize, Blue Jay. They distracted me. It's their fault. Blue Jay, $2. Thank you so much for the support. This made up for all the swearing on the stream. We're finally profitable on this live stream. Just a thought. MME get together to see super. I would love that.
I have an idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would love
But
it.
it's up to you guys.
Everybody beating the shit out of each other in the first 4 aisles of the theater.
No, well, I was gonna say I have an idea. It's up to you guys though.
No, I'm not eating anything.
No, I'm not telling you to eat nothing. What the hell?
I'm talking to a senior nerd. I've got a caffeine thing in my mouth.
So that weekend, there's a convention I go to that's very popular. It's in Knoxville, Tennessee. It's the exact same weekend, right across from the convention.
They got Nazis in Tennessee.
Wow. Right across from the movie theater is a historic Regal Theater. That's one of the nicest theaters I've ever been to. It is extremely nice. It's right across the street from the convention center and all the hotels.
I would love to come hang out. I would love to come hang out with you guys for something like that. But you're not getting me in the theater to watch no Superman movie. That's for sure. I'll hang out. You guys can go see a movie without
I'm just
me.
saying you could do a weekend of a convention and a movie. I'm just saying. It's just an idea.
I would love to. I don't know if I can. I'll try. Let me think about that. Let me cook on that. Bruce, would you want to go or no?
It's in July. So
July? What's the name of the convention?
It's called Fanboy Expo. I've gone to the last 2 years. So far, they're announcing the guests right now. They announced Steve from Blue's Clues is their first big guest.
That's not how to reel me in, RJ. God damn it.
Well, there's
you want to come to Fanboy Expo? Blues Clues.
Well, they're just announcing guests. But they're also getting who else?
Bruce, I'll have to I'll talk to you about if you want to share a room or something.
There's some really nice hotels. I could recommend some hotels to y'all. They're really good.
Oh no. I'm staying at your house, RJ. I'm staying. If I go all the way to Alabama, if I trek my ass all the way to Tennessee,
I don't live.
I'm staying with you.
I mean, that's a great thing. Have you thought about what the other thing I was doing in March or April, RJ?
Well, yeah.
WrestleMania.
I'm trying to do multiple trips. It's expensive.
I would love. That sounds cool. I'll let me think about it, because I do still want to go to too many games. Here's my trips coming up. I want to go to see Bruce, because Bruce has come visit me quite a few times and I've never visited him. So I want to visit him. I want to see Joe again. Next year, I really want to go to RetroCon. I would like to go to the convention with Bruce again.
Bruce, where are you going to take him?
And March or April, I'm planning a trip to Detroit. Baltimore.
The best
Baltimore.
We went this year to Baltimore.
And I want to squeeze that in there. Let me research it. We could try to get press passes, maybe too. Bruce.
You could try. I mean, well, I was going to say, last year they had some great guests. They had, they had Giancarlo Esposito, like you guys.
Yeah,
know.
We know you got.
Vince, but you know how these East Coast motherfuckers are, man. They think the world stops after like Philadelphia. They won't come to the Midwest. They think they're too.
Well, I'm just saying they had Giancarlo, they had
Tornadoes. I don't know what's there.
Sean Gunn, they had Michael Rooker, they had some people from the Muppets, they had some Star Wars people there. It was crazy. It was really good.
You know what I was thinking? There aren't enough. Is there any? I want to start a music convention for like vinyl collectors, CD collectors, tape collectors.
Boring.
Why not? Get some small bands in there, have a live battle of the bands.
All right.
Have someone play music videos and
even I know
parties.
A convention like that will not have any hot women there.
Are you kidding me? Lots of hot ladies like
hot ladies love collecting those dirty VHS tapes.
I was actually thinking about I'm not talking about just VHS tapes, but also have video games and movies there too. But how come music doesn't have conventions? You have concerts.
I want to mention before I forget the people at the booths and at Fanboy you would love. They have so many retro VHSs and video games there. I kid you not. Got so much retro stuff you'd lose your mind. Old toys too.
Oh, there is. Okay. Degrassi, there is already a National Vinyl Record Convention circuit. I didn't know. Okay.
Maybe you should do your research before you talk.
No, I said I don't think there is. I don't think there is. Okay, but I do have breaking news. I just got confirmation of RGT 85 is going to be on the channel on December 7th for the Have You Met series.
What?
Big interview. Do you know RGT 85? RJ?
Yeah, how the hell did you get him?
Well, how the hell did you get to see Creature Commandos? You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
No comment on that. No comment on that for me.
So, what's that?
I'll make sure I'm not watching that day.
What? RGT?
We'll talk later. That's
okay.
Ooh, Max is in trouble.
No, he's not.
I know.
That was funny. Way
no, I got confirmation. That's great.
Max guy, he got that nervous looking. What I do now?
I do nothing. You go to RJ. How come you? I'm very happy for your success. And X is a great platform for you. So all your friends that are like, let's go to Blue Sky, I'm like,
oh my
going
God.
on X.
Don't give him credit for that X shit. It piggybacks off.
No,
there's nothing that like
just
it's
piggybacks
not
all the
worth
shit that's
congratulating
trending,
you
bro.
for. Just got really lucky.
No, he's had some great experiences on X, getting responses from important people.
That doesn't mean anything.
He's making some money, and he's getting some access. That's great. But what about your old pal Max?
That doesn't mean anything. Now
here's my access
about it.
drying up.
Well, if you were consistent enough, Max, you could be there in the same spot. You're not consistent.
I just want to be transparent for a minute, though.
Yeah.
I never want to do screeners after this. Like, never again. I don't like this at all.
Because you can't talk about it. You can't talk about rumors and stuff.
No, not that. It's not even just that. I just
You're
don't I just don't like the experience of like watching screeners because it's very awkward and it's very scary because you have to like use like, at least for Warner Brothers, you have to use like a screener app and it's very locked down. It's just a weird viewing experience. It's not the ideal.
Oh yes. Here, Chris, what do you think of this? RJ is going to turn down a screener for a Superman movie.
Yeah,
because he doesn't like the experience.
Why is that different? Why is that different? Why?
Because you're actually physically going to a theater with other people. This is like them tracking your IP information, having like a watermark all over the screen.
Well, you got to watch yourself. That's all. You're not going to leak anything. Wow. You didn't tell me shit. We just knew.
I just don't like it though, because it makes me feel like if I make the wrong move, I get sued. You know, it's just a little more stressful.
That's why I have Voltaire. That's why I have the mic drop.
Make a fake account.
Who's Voltaire?
The co-host of the mic drop. Have you watched that show?
Oh, it's the other show you do.
I just don't like it. I never want to do it again. I'm just
all right. I'll take your access.
I'm probably not going to get one ever again. Honestly, I think I just got really lucky.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else that we want to cover?
Did you guys talk about the DC movie news?
That there's going to be R-rated movies or something?
No, Deadline and Variety has reported there's a new DC movie coming.
Okay, I didn't see that. No.
Oh, I'll tell you. So they're reporting. This is a report also that came from Nexus Point News like a month ago, but the trades are confirming that they're making a Sergeant Rock movie with Daniel Craig.
Oh, that yeah.
Luca Guadagnino.
I didn't know that was a movie though. That's why I thought it might be a series.
Yeah.
Oh, that is. What's that?
Luca doesn't do series.
Okay.
What the fuck? Is a captain. What is his name?
Sergeant Rock.
Sergeant Rock. He's like
it was a very popular war comic book.
Yeah.
He's a
World War II soldier.
They just had a Sergeant Rock versus the Army of Darkness comic book written by Bruce Campbell.
Honestly, I think it's kind of a mistake to make it a movie. I think that would be better as a series.
But
I could be wrong.
It's Luca Guadagnino directing. Do you know who the screenwriter is?
No.
It's the guy who wrote Challengers, who's probably going to be Oscar nominated in a couple months.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, they're getting like an A-list team working on this thing. I mean, I don't know if I would make a Sergeant Rock movie, but if they're going to go for it, go for it.
I mean, I'll wait till the context of the release to say, oh, that makes a lot of sense for a feature film. But my initial impression is Sergeant Rock, although it's a character I personally want to see, I don't see the mass audiences say, oh, Sergeant Rock. But I could be wrong.
Well, that's the thing, though. Is this going to be a movie meant for mass audiences? Because if you make a Sergeant Rock movie...
Or maybe you do it really low budget.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You could do it low budget. You could do like 50 to 100
You don't
million.
need special effects.
Yeah.
It's just a guy in World War II.
Anthony says, Sergeant Rock and Lobo have been movies in development for decades. If James Gunn is advancing them out of limbo, that's awesome. But he's just resurrecting old existing WB projects. And then CJH says, no one cares. He does the typical anti-SJW response. No one cares about that. They want Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. He added Martian Manhunter.
Why can't you get both?
Let me just point this out. Creature Commandos, Weird War Tales, Sergeant Rock. There you go.
Creature Commandos was weird. Okay,
Creature Commandos came out of Weird War Tales.
Okay,
and this is the part where I have to just not say anything.
Yeah, if you're talking about Sergeant Rock being the introduction of the live action Creature Commandos, then you're talking. Yes, now I completely see it. I completely see it.
RJ, please don't say anything. But if you're paying attention to Creature Commandos and this project got announced, a good way for them to introduce Sergeant Rock to the viewing audience is to have Sergeant Rock and Creature Commandos. So that's my line of thought right now.
And if he's in Creature Commandos, we'll know for a fact that
the more you read, the more you know.
And the more you know. Isn't.
The more you read.
This is why I hate screeners. I don't want to do it ever again.
The more you read, you know, the better you're going to be. That really helped his comic knowledge on that. Really? And I didn't initially link that. But yes.
What comic knowledge? I have
comic knowledge. I didn't say common knowledge, ass.
I have common sense.
So yes, that's where reading comics benefits.
Like an old married couple.
And RJ has to mute himself and scream into a pillow. I know it's.
You know, it's funny. You're not the first person that said that about me and Max, Chris.
Reading is fundamental. Yeah.
Like I said, I literally can't say anything one way or the other.
Yeah,
so.
It
sucks. It sucks.
RJ is like jumping off the side of his bed and like, I can't say what's gonna happen.
Come, RJ, any thoughts?
RJ, any thoughts on Sergeant Rock and why it's so important after watching season 1 of Creature Commandos?
RJ, here's what you do. I got a flawed plan. All right. Accidentally leak it to Eddie Diaz, and he'll spoil it for everyone.
Oh my God!
And he'll spoil it for everyone. Just leak it to him.
Just email him a flash drive.
There actually are some spoilers out there already, which sucks because there's some really cool surprises
that are legit.
That are legit that people.
So this also proves that the Scoop community, even though you know people say it's full of.
Well, now I know. Now I know how they get their scoops.
Yes.
Because somebody who gets a screener,
they tell your friends.
They talk to people who get screeners. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there or an associate online, like, I'll give you $20 if you tell me what happens.
That's why I think with streaming shows and movies, it's easier to get leaks for because you can talk to people who got screeners.
I actually think they should do away with screeners completely and do away with social media influencers. Just stop the whole screening process and just release it when it's released and let everyone see it at the same time. That's what I would love.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why. I think it's because they want to have reviews ready to go to like build momentum. So they want people talking about this the week of, you know. They want all the videos to be out, you know, promoting it and everything and reviewing it.
All right. I think we've gone 2 hours. I have to get my cousin's going to be here, so we have to end.
All right. So make sure you thumbs up the video. Please subscribe, like, and comment.
Man.
What?
You got just selfless self-promotion, begging for likes and shit too. He's got you doing it too.
Did you like it, Chris?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
All right.
RJ, did you like our videos?
I just got home with food, so
that means no.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with another episode of the Power Hour, the best show on MME currently.
On the internet. Why'd you have to add that?
You know why I had to add that.
All right, end the stream. Causing me problems.
Oh, me?